Yeah.
I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one.
Yeah. Man.
I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
26 season. Coach, what was your assessment of looking at today?
Very positive. Guys came out well. I think this is with this playing at the stadium. We want those guys to get used to the stadium, being around, getting used to their surroundings and everything like that. I think our guys came out with a very positive spirit and ready to go.
Defensively, they looked like they were flying around today. Is it normally the defense is ahead of the offense around this part of scrimmage, or how does it look?
No, I think the defense had a little bit more juice today than offense, but the good thing about it, we've been going back and forth. Offense win, defense win, offense win, defense win. So it's not defense dominate, it's just offense and defense. We go back and forth.
Quick follow-up, you brought the team up here to Aldine, to Thorne Stadium. Just kind of going through the logistics of that, do you anticipate that being an issue, or that's just part of what you're going to be kind of tasked to do?
I don't see an issue because football field is 100 yards, and they used to plan on 100 yards. No matter if it's high school, college, or pro, the football field is 100 yards. So we just need a 100-yard field.
Sure thing. Appreciate you, Coach.
All right.
Good afternoon. That is Texas Southern University Coach Dishman giving some insight to our very own Professor Bishop. Good job, Professor Bishop. You got quite a bit out of him. You know, sometimes he doesn't do that. This is the picture just to let you know I've received this today, and I just want people to formally know. No, I do not know anything. I have not done anything. I am just hosting the show. With that being said, we can get into it. And let me say welcome to episode 844 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU dash for all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small. From the NAIA to the NCAA, we share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs in the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta, Cavil, along with my co-host, Mike Washington, Charles Bishop, as well as A.D. Drew. We're filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to KCOH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, multi-Hall of Famer, the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. With that being said, let's bring everybody on. Again, great interview from Texas Southern University. A lot of things going on out there with Texas Southern University. As you saw from the intro, I don't know. Today's episode of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab is sponsored by THD Agency. THD Agency is a company that provides sporting, education, consulting, data analytics. And as I've showed you all some pictures, I tried to send them over, but to give the fan base a little bit of pictures in regards to tequila, guave plants up there in Guadalajara. Got a chance to go and check that out for a real short trip this weekend. And it was, as we say back in the day, it was epic. But to learn about how they actually manufacture tequila was fascinating. And I'll kind of leave it like that because what Guadalajara stays in Guadalajara as far as
field trip.
Los tequilos es muy fuerte. Muchos personas, mucho gusto. I'm sorry, I'm tipping my hat a little bit.
show off. Welcome, gentlemen. How y'all doing today?
Doing well, Doc. Doing well. Obviously, the dog days of summer are here, so Got those first scrimmages out the way this past weekend.
There it is. I like your shirt and your sleeves with the acknowledgments on that. Cool.
No, he trying to show his little muscle. He got his arm propped up there. He got a yellow shirt, trying to show his little muscals. Whatever.
That's a safety yellow, Mike. That's safety yellow.
4 times or catch up with the guys, Mike. I do have a package for you. A.D. Drew received his. Charles Bishop received his.
Well, where mine at?
You ain't been around, man.
It's in the bag.
I don't care.
I'm not doing the postal service. We live in the same city. I'm not doing it. I know it don't seem like it at times, but I'm not doing it. Speaking about
AD looking busy and Charles trying to look cute and muscular in his shirt.
Y'all end up getting into Labor Day class. Pause. Get us out of this and give us some news of the day.
Let's take a look at it. We take a look at it. The SWAC, they announced their 2026 Women's Soccer Preseason Awards as the countdown to the 2026 season is underway. The SWAC has announced their 2026 preseason. All SWAC soccer teams and individual award winners voted by the league's head coaches and sports information directors. Alabama A&M forward Zaki Dean was named the preseason offensive player of the year, while Grambling State defender Kaylin Jenkins was crowned the preseason defensive player of the year. Alcorn State midfielder Anik Zuma was named the preseason midfielder of the year, and Jackson State goalkeeper Taylor Osborne, she earns preseason goalkeeper of the year. So some preludes preseason for the 2026 SWAC women's soccer season on deck here, along with our other fall sports, football and volleyball.
Good stuff. Shout out to the soccer preseason players of the year and those preseason position: offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, midfielder, and goalkeeper, and all the SWAC first teamers. Big deal, second teamers. Shout out to those individuals. With that being said, I'll go to you, Big Mike. Good to have you on the show today. What's your thoughts on the HBCU news at this time?
So here's one that caught my eye. So HBCU football after dark. Winston-Salem University eyeing nighttime attendance bump from HBCU game day. So they want 10,000 fans inside Bowman Gray Stadium this season. Athletic director Eric Burns is betting on night football. Betting on night. And did you hear me? Betting on night football and season tickets to help that number. So they begin their home schedule with 2 8 p.m. kickoffs. The host, Mars Hill, on September 5th, before Johnson C. Smith comes to Winston-Salem on September 12th. So those starting games represent more than a return to an so-called old Winston-Salem football tradition. They are part of an attendance strategy. I don't know if that strategy is kind of widespread, maybe AD, because I know you're probably more in tune to this. I don't know, and I don't know if this will migrate to other, but a widespread or an attendance strategy built around removing obstacles for alumni, family, and fans. Now, I think that's important. The goal is to put 10,000. So that's a goal, whether you like it or not. It's a goal for Bowman Gray. Burns told HBCU Game Day, and I got to credit Game Day and HBCU Sports and all the apps, the alerts that I got. The 2025 numbers show how ambitious the goal is, and it's a really ambitious goal. Winston-Salem reported 33,685 fans across 4 home dates last season. The official average was 8,421, the fifth highest in NCAA Division II football. Now I know, AD, this is your territory, and I didn't mean to step into it, but I thought that was great. But that they're targeting night games. So I'll stop and let you jump in on that. But all I saw in my media tab was HBCU targeting night games. I've never seen a tab like that where schools are purposely targeting night games. So that's my story of the day.
Good stuff, Mike. Night game. Big time. Friday night, Saturday night, Monday night, Sunday night. Nighttime football can be a plug.
Yep.
With that being said, good report there, Mike. With that being said, AD Drew, what's on your mind?
Oh boy. Guess I need to talk about. I'm just looking it up, Mike, because I was just trying to see with your numbers and everything. I know CIAA as a conference trails behind the SIAC as a conference when it comes to attendance. I think 10,000 is a really ambitious goal.
Yep.
Is that 10,000 for the season or 10,000 per game? You didn't say.
That's what it wasn't clear, because when I saw that on my sports tab on my social media, it wasn't clear. It was at 10,000 for a game or 10,000 season. Because if you look at their averages, that is really ambitious. You know, that's like me trying to be 6'5". So
not what
it's an ambitious goal, but it may not happen.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's the truth, though. But
truth can be cold.
Yeah. I want to talk about my institution where I work at, with this brand new exciting initiative that we have started and announced today at Morehouse. It's called Morehouse 360, the Launchpad. What is Morehouse 360, the Launchpad? It's a seminar that will bring student athletes together for a comprehensive transition and development program. And this is going to occur a week from today, Tuesday, August 18th, beginning at 9 a.m. inside Forbes Arena, which is our home basketball arena. Designed as a proactive investment in the development of the men of Morehouse, the mandatory seminar will prepare student athletes for the professional, financial, and personal responsibilities that accompany college athletics, increase public visibility, and the transition into life beyond competition. Morehouse 360, the Launchpad, will center around 4 key pillars: financial literacy, mental health and wellness, professional conduct, and career longevity. The program is designed to meet student athletes at an important stage in their development, and when decisions involving finances, relationships, college sports betting, personal conduct, social media, career preparation, and overall wellness can have a lasting impact. And there's more about it. It's a little bit of a long read, so I'm not going to get into it, but you can go to morehouseathletics.com. It's also on our Facebook page to read more about it. So AD Ellis has been working on this for a while, and we finally got those last couple of pieces together. I've had my input into this. And for those who don't know AD Ellis's background, prior to coming with Morehouse, when he was working in the NBA, one of the things that he was in charge of was the Rookie Symposium with the NBA, which kind of spurred this idea, along with just the things that we have seen over the last couple of years with college athletics in general. It's like, this is something that I know this has been at least a year in the making, putting this together. So just wanted to put that out there for you guys to discuss. Edwin, I ain't paying no attention to you.
That is smart. I like that though.
Edwin trying to get shots
in the market have his privileges,
Edwin trying to get look like Edwin trying to get some shots in.
Yeah, yeah, we ain't talking about the tequila shots either.
Exactly. He getting some shots, some body blows in.
Great update. I like the Morehouse 360, very slick logo, and more importantly, the aspects associated with 360 is extremely timely for students. So a lot of Morehouse men are going to get an opportunity to really take advantage of that. And that's going to be tremendous in terms of their continued growth as they matriculate through Morehouse College.
But put that logo back up. You said you like that logo. Put that logo back up, Raymond.
I wonder who designed it. Man.
What's that logo? Yeah. Put the
No,
logo up, please. Please put the logo
I think he took it off.
He said he might say, please put the logo up.
Please put the logo up.
I not to say that I did not design that logo, but I designed that logo.
Okay, you got your points for the day.
He brought it up. He had no clue on that, but I appreciate that though, Doc.
I had a pretty good clue. That's why I brought it up. I was a high probability, as they said. Put it that way. HBCU 4S commissioners reaffirm commitment to advancing HBCU athletics summer meeting in Washington, D.C. This is coming out of the CIAA in terms of a report. Commissioners representing the nation's 4 NCAA historically black college university athletic conferences gathered in Washington, D.C. for the summer meeting to reaffirm a collective commitment to strengthening HBCU athletics through collaboration, advocacy, and strategic leadership. The meeting focused on identifying shared priorities that will enhance the student athlete experience, elevate the visibility of HBCU athletics, and ensure HBCU conferences maintain a strong voice in shaping the future of intercollegiate athletics. Quote, our responsibility extends beyond managing championships and competition, end quote, said HBCU 4S commissioners in a joint statement. As commissioners, we serve as gatekeepers for HBCU athletics, ensuring our institution's student, athlete, and communities continue to thrive through intentional collaboration, advocacy, and leadership, end quote. Big deal there. We heard a lot of those visions stepping up in terms of what that looks like, which includes advancing the mission of HBCU athletics, celebrating student athlete excellence, expanding professional and educational opportunities, strengthening strategic partnerships, advancing women's flag football, showcasing HBCU football, strengthening national representation, are some that were listed here. Obviously, Brian Fulford, as he talked about on Sunday, he wants more. I mean, people don't even have a time to grow into the role. It's a year old since they formally wrote down and formalized everything. I know they announced earlier that, but Brian means get going. I'm like, man, you got to have opportunity to get some investment money to be able to do some of the things that he wants, which are actually good ideas. But I think we oftentimes want things to move faster than business reality allows it to happen. But anyway, I think the framework and the mindset is in position. It'll be interesting to see as they continue to move forward what they can get done. With that being said, let's take our first break. It'll be time to come back on the other side. Yes, this is a big one. I was going to wait to share it on Thursday, but it is big news as it came out recently. Hi, Eugene is back in
Bruce Eugene
as a coach over there, coming back into his alma mater, big time, helping to produce from a coaching perspective assistance and getting back to the championship areas that he delivered when he was a player. Be interesting to see how that looks. Excited for coaches anytime we have players come back to the alma mater and get the lead in various ways, particularly something that they did well as in a player, now coaching. Fascinating to see. Let's go ahead and take our first break. We'll come back on the other side, and over the next couple of weeks, you saw what we did on the last 3 shows. We'll continue that. This time we're headed to the East, Charles, to the East, my friend. Talk about the top 3 predicted order finish. Yes, the East. You remember that, Mike?
Yes. To the East, my brother, to the East. Van Glorious. The old school people.
We'll come back on the other side.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Lab. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Lab, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Introducing the HBCU Trivia Game. It's more than a board game, it's a journey to the legacy of historically black colleges and universities. Here's how it works. 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, start as freshmen and roll the dice to advance. But here's the twist. You can only move forward by answering trivia questions about HBCU. Test your knowledge of notable alumni, key historical events, sports milestones, and fun HBCU facts. Watch out for spaces that can propel you ahead or set you back. And if you get a question wrong, you stay put until your next turn. The first to reach graduation wins! The HBCU Trivia Game. Support, educate, entertain! Available now. Let the journey begin.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
The champs are here. 2 teams, 2 legacies, 2 championship-winning coaches on one stage. The 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. South Carolina State Bulldogs versus the FAMU Rattlers. September 6th, Labor Day weekend, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. You don't just want to watch it, you want to feel it. The sound of the bands, the energy in the stands, and the pride on every play. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Built on history, fueled by pride.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna loud, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
To your 5th year at Alabama State, and you trying to get over that hump, like you said, to not only get to Atlanta, but to win that championship. And now more than ever with Andrew Body, this offense, and improving with this defense. For you, what are you looking to do in 2026? What have you learned about yourself going into year 5 in order to get this ship headed in the right direction the way that you have?
Yeah, I think the AD kind of said it in our meeting, and we were 3 points away from losing the Commissioner's Cup as a university. And that's one of the goals that we always set out for. So it's leave no doubt. I think we played to a high level, but we left doubt as far as who was the best team. And then when that happens, the rules that were set before the season started didn't fall our way. You say, well, yeah, you beat Prairie View and they won the SWAC. Well, you didn't go by the rules that were set, so you know what should have happened. So you can't go on coulda, shoulda, woulda. You have to sharpen your pencil, get a little better. And I think the way we have to play is just play dominant football. Stop waiting for it to come down to a field goal or last play of the game. And so we're practicing like that. Like everything in the room matters. So we're increasing our level of discipline. Our leaders got to be leaders, and just making sure that we're doing everything right on and off the football field. And that'll give us that little bit more margin of error. So that way, football is an imperfect game. So we're trying to make an imperfect game perfect. And so, and when you do that, you got to have a strength in the routine of what you're doing every day. And so that way, when the error of uncontrollability happens, then you have left no doubt. So hey, that last touchdown you didn't score, but you were winning by 20 points, so it didn't cost you the ball game. And that's the mindset we're having.
Out to Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. He has plans. He's talking like a coach that is prepared to finish the deal with his team. And with that being said, let's get to the schedule. He is projected at the top of the Eastern Division. You see the projections there, 6, 5, 4. We'll do those three, which is Mississippi Valley State, Alabama A&M, and FAMU on Thursday. We'll do over the next three segments, Bethune-Cookman, Jackson State, and Alabama State, as their predicted order 3, 2, 1, going from the bottom to the top in terms of their projected order finish. So let's look at Alabama State in terms of the schedule. In terms of the teams in the West, we talked about those, but let's go through this and get everybody's thought here. Things kick off with the Birmingham Classic. This is a big deal. I actually had an interview today with the AP Post that talked about potentially those money games going away. One of the things I alluded to in the article is the fact that the SWAC has the Birmingham Classic, one of the things that could help offset the potential loss of those games. Last year, we saw the HBCU Las Vegas Classic, one that was largely orchestrated by the conference office. So you see the movement in terms of providing opportunities for programs within the SWAC that want to take advantage of it and find other revenue opportunities in such games as Classic. So we see that one there to start things off. It is, importantly, non-conference game, but importantly, it is a game between conference members. So that should be interesting. Alabama State then goes the Division II route, another SIAC SWAC matchup. This one features Lane getting on the road to travel to Montgomery. Then you see the proverbial bump back up to a FBS. This one is a G6 version with Troy. In-state, if you would, opponent, which we'll see quite a bit of on the Alabama State schedule, if you would, in terms of their ability to stay home. Then they get into conference play. Eastern Division foe, which is always important. Valley comes to, and that's Mississippi Valley. Mike Valley comes to Montgomery for a showcase there. Then the Alabama State Hornets, they get on the road. They go to Daytona to travel to see Bethune-Cookman, which is predicted pretty high in terms of what they've seen thus far in the SWAC. So it'll be interesting when we get that in the last segment. Then you have FAMU. These games have been exciting. FAMU dominated for the first couple of years in the conference. Alabama State got a huge victory on the road last year. But now it's time for FAMU to come up to Montgomery. These are a really short trip for the two programs when they hit the road, so they've had really good engagement and fan base support. So it'll be fascinating to see that one again. When we get in further into October 17th, you have a Western Division foe. Alabama State has to go to Pine Bluff, an intriguing road trip for sure. Then you have the proverbial Magic City Classic after a week off. This one is always fascinating. Last year, Alabama State gave it to the Bulldogs, though. We'll see if there's any bite back from the Bulldogs this year. Then you go in November 7th. This is a key matchup for some people. Certainly obtained one last year. This one sees the Alabama State Hornets. They go to Houston to have some of their fans down this way get a closer look at them. Also another one to keep your eyes on. And then you have Jackson State. That's the big one for a lot of people. November 14th, last couple of years classic matchup. Last year did not let down for anybody. Goal line stamp by Jackson State at home. Ultimately sent Jackson State to the SWAC championship game and the host. And then the next week, the foe in that game is Prairie View A&M on the 21st. Prairie View has to travel to Alabama State. They hosted them at home last year. Had a lead, big lead if you would, for some early in the matchup. Alabama State comes storming back. Quarterback Body gets hurt in that game, for those that don't remember. But the backup comes in and finds a way to get it done. And Alabama State stays in the mix, but Jackson State got it done, closing out their season strong as they represent in the Eastern Division game, as I said. And then you know what it is, the Turkey Day Classic, Tuskegee, which is picked pretty high in terms of the SIC, top 10 in terms of the Division II ranking. So this could be interesting. We got a lot of time to really figure that out. We'll start with you, Charles Bishop. What are your thoughts in terms of Alabama State schedule?
Yeah, I think the obvious, definitely the health of Andrew Body. When you take a look at the schedule, I think the right teams come to Montgomery this upcoming season. When you talk about Florida A&M and Jackson State both coming into Montgomery this upcoming season, but I guess the big thing for me with Alabama State, where I was a little bit surprised last season, is defensively. They kind of took a step back. 7th in the SWAC in stopping the run. So you get tested early with Trey Holly with Southern, this game 1 right here. But then I started taking a look at the teams that can really run football. You start talking about, you get to November, you talk about a grudge match with Alabama A&M. You never know what could happen with a grudge match, a rivalry. But Athey and Renfro there with Texas Southern. Jackson State will have a formidable running back in the form of Nate Blunt. Prairie View, we know their physicality jumps off the board. But I think if you take everything in totality, everything comes down to November 14th when Jackson State makes the visit to Montgomery.
When you talk about the divisions, and as we saw last year, not only a division is online, it could be home field advantage. Where the East is deep. With that being said, great comments, Charles. Let me go to you, AD. What are your thoughts in terms of Alabama State football schedule for 2026?
6 home games, check, plus 2 neutral site games in state, hour and a half away, check. Your FBS opponent is 45 minutes away. You'll probably actually have more black and gold at that game than I believe their colors are maroon and gray, maroon and silver, something like that, talking about Troy University. So, good for atmosphere. So I like that makeup once again when it comes to that. But these road games, you fly to Houston. There's no easy way to get to Pine Bluff from Montgomery, Alabama. I mean, you stuck with that one. We talked about Troy, and then you got to go to Daytona, which means you're probably gonna have to fly and drive to Daytona because there's really no direct route. You're either flying into Jacksonville or into Orlando and busing to Daytona. So I like the general makeup of the schedule. Tough way to end the season though. Jackson State, Prairie View, back to back. Texas Southern is expected to be improved. So that month of November scares me. That's a good opportunity to slip up. You can see Alabama State get off to a good start, and then when the leaves fall, so may the hopes of Alabama State faithful. So we'll leave it at that. The Tuskegee game, we saw how interesting that was last year with the fact that Alabama State did not win the East and was right there on the cusp of possibly getting to the FCS playoffs. Don't think that's going to happen this year because you've got 2 Division IIs on the schedule and the FCS. Not quite sure if Alabama State doesn't win it all, that they will have enough countable games to be able to make an impact on the FCS playoff rankings should they have to get in that large. So it's championship or bust when it comes to the Hornets.
Good point in terms of championship or bust when you talk about where they were on the cusp of the FCS playoffs, or at least the dialogue that was out there. With that being said, Mike, what are your thoughts on the 2026 schedule for Alabama State?
Yeah, I think CB and AD, left they didn't leave any meat on the bone. We keep using that term. So I guess what gets me is that month of November. Or really, yeah, you've got a gauntlet. You've got a Texas Southern team which traditionally gets better towards the end of the season, and they're expected to be really highly competitive this year. Then you got Jackson State, Prairie View. I think it was UAD. The thing I think CB, and I'd like to reiterate. So if you look at statistics last year, they were number one in scoring in the SWAC last year. Number one. But in terms of, CB mentioned defense. I'm going to mention rushing. That's important toward the end of the season. By the time they entered, they got to the end of the season, in rushing, they had, in rushing to, I guess, total rushing offense, they toward the rest of the season, if you count the totality, they were number 2, number 3. But if you count those last 3 or 4 games, they compared to the other statistically SWAC schools, they were in the bottom 3 or 4. So if you can't rush and your defense falls off, then I think that wanes. And given that history, given what their November looks like and who they got to play, and oh, by the way, in November they play, let me remind you, in Houston, Texas. They do have Jackson State in Montgomery. They do have Prairie View in Montgomery, but that's no easy battle. So my question is, so goes the health of Andrew Body, so goes the continuance of the defense and the ability to rush the ball as well. I think you have to make that an A plus B scenario. So that's the only thing I will say about that. Last year, we talk about they have Andrew Body. I hate to say it. I don't mean to, be disrespectful, but we've talked about Andrew Body for the last 2 or 3. We talked about him. Hey, TSU has Andrew Body. Hey, Alabama State has Andrew Body. You have to wonder, can they maintain his health? Because he can not only build that offense over the course of the season, but he helps promote the running game, particularly on the road. And during that stretch toward the end of the season. So that's what I will say about them. But for me, the takeaway, November.
Good stuff. Very good stuff. Comments. Take our next break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to talk about number 2 preseason favorite. It's Jackson State. They have won 4 of the last 5 Eastern Division championships, including 3 SWAC championships and an HBCU national championship. It'll be fascinating to see what their schedule brings to the table with these gentlemen giving their thoughts. We'll be right back after this next break.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Register your business for the premier urban business directory in the country, the Urban Passport. Visit myjbn.com/passport. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book.
The champs are here. 2 teams, 2 legacies, 2 championship-winning coaches on one stage. The 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. South Carolina State Bulldogs versus the FAMU Rattlers. September 6th, Labor Day weekend, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. You don't just want to watch it, you want to feel it. The sound of the bands, the energy in the stands, and the pride on every play. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Built on history, fueled by pride.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
Football fans,
HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Made the decision of Jared and Cam. Share with us a little bit about the process you go through, what you're looking for in those players to go over there with you to represent the team.
Yeah, I mean, you just talk about ambassadors of the program. You know, you talk about ambassadors, leaders, the things that starting with Cam, first of all, you know, things that he did on the football field for us last year on that defense. You know, you knew where 15 was on the field. If you didn't, you end up sleep. You know, that dude really did it the right way, you know, played the game each and every week the right way. And he's turned into a great leader. You know, he had some opportunities to go to other places at the end of the season. We all know that. And he chose to come back and be a part of what we build in here, continuing to build at Jackson State. Well-spoken young man, come from a great family. You know, he's transferred, he came in here, and he's accepted the standard and the way that we operate as a program. You know, so he was a no-brainer going into this process for us choosing guys to go over here to Alabama next week. So I'm excited about him. With Lockhart, you know, the deal when Jacobian went down, you just start seeing him to grow.
Yeah.
You just start seeing him to grow. You know, after a few games, he started just not to look like a true freshman anymore. You know, you see him grow, and then we get to towards the end of after the season, postseason or whatever, the spring, you know, him turning into a young man. You could see him maturing, and the team getting behind him, and he's starting to say the right things, you know. And anytime you got a guy like that doing things like that as a quarterback of your team, you got to take him with you on the road, you know. But he's had a great offseason. Let me say that as well. His summer has been spectacular. You know, he's burning up the weight room right now. He's doing the right things in the classroom. So I'm excited about both those guys. But I had a host of other guys that could have made the trip, but those are the two I chose. Anytime you got a quarterback with that ability and doing things the right way, and a safety that's, you know, made a lot of plays for us, you know, they made the decision kind of easy.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. You're listening to, or just heard, if you would, T.C. Taylor, head football coach of Jackson State. I love, as they like to say around those parts. Charles, you know a little bit of something like that.
Little some, yeah.
With that, let's go ahead and bring on the schedule. Let's get into it. Jackson State, the big one, August 29th. Man, they don't leave anything meat on the bone, as we like to say, as they like to get right into it. A big cat fight. Old renewed rival against Tennessee State. They go to Nashville on this one. Instead of Memphis was what we've used to see being played in what was the Southern Heritage Classic. We know about them pulling out, both teams, Jackson State first, but now they found a way to get it back on. And it will be in Nashville, as I said, August 29th. It's fascinating. One to keep your eye on for sure. September 5th, they come back home in terms of the Tigers, and they play Edward Waters University. Classic matchups, and then they have a week off before they stay at home and face another SIC matchup with Tuskegee. We saw that last year. Tremendous matchup in terms of some of the preseason festivities we had, getting a chance to go up there and take our HBCU Sports Lecture Series on the road. Thank you to Ashley Robinson for bringing us there. On September 26th, I started to say number because I was so excited about these two programs getting it on. Anytime they do it, I get lathered up with folks talking trash, and I just get to follow along and laugh. You wanted to do October 3rd, you have Alabama A&M, Jackson State. We've seen what that matchup has done last couple of years. Be interesting to see, can Bulldogs get over the hump? Can they even make it close? Maybe one question people want to know. And then you got another old rivalry in terms of SWAC. These folks have been playing a long time. They actually got together in the Midwestern Athletic Classic, as it changed names over the years before they joined the SWAC at the same time. That's Grambling and Jackson State. Many people understand how that rivalry goes. This one is in the hole, which some people say is a house of horror for Jackson State. Can they write it and make it their own? Will Grambling find a way to continue that legacy? Then you have October 17th. This matchup for the first couple of years of the SWAC was tremendous. Whoever won it won the conference. It's kind of gone down a little bit. Will it pick back up with Quinn Gray leading his alma mater as he goes on the road to Jackson, October 17th? Then you have Jackson State talking about the Florida schools. You got Bethune-Cookman hosting Jackson State on the 24th. 31 is a bye week, off week, as a lot of people like to say. Then you go back to an in-state rival to some degree. Some people say a team has to win to be a rival, but we will leave it the way it is. That's Valley State at Jackson State. Had some close games early on, but Jackson State always seems to move away from it, and a lot of teams seem to do that with Valley. But they've been able to get a couple of big wins over the years, so we'll see as they have Terrell Buckley coming back for the second year. He promises more excitement for the Valley and more wins, more importantly. November 14th, this is the one for a lot of people. Classic matchup. It's on the road. Jackson State on the road. And then this one never lets anybody down. That's the rival, the Braves. Jackson State has to travel to the reservation, get it done. Jackson State has had Alcorn's number for a while now. Alcorn State did that to Jackson State. We'll see. Will it continue or we get a change of the odds? With that being said, I'm going to start with AD Drew. What are your thoughts in terms of Jackson State's schedule for 2026? Before I let you talk, let me give some love to HBCU Central. Again, they've been doing it with these schedules, and so I wanted to acknowledge them. Instagram, HBCU Central. With that being said, AD Drew, go ahead. Give me your thoughts.
Ever since expansion, although it did not produce the winner of the SWAC last year, the team that has won the FAMU Jackson State matchup has won the East every year since expansion. So let's start off with that one. TC Taylor, you've got an opportunity here with the schedule. I love the favorable home schedule that you guys have. Basically, no one who comes into Jackson was over 500 last year, so you have to love that based on last year's records. What I do not like is the unfavorable road schedule. I mean, you go to Grambling, you go to Bethune, you go to Bama State, and then you go to Alcorn. So while you may have on paper an easy home schedule, it sure balances itself out with those tough road games that you have. So this schedule is set up for Jackson State to go 6-0 at home, because you're going to give them the 2 D2 games and then the 4 SWAC opponents that they have at home. And I really want to see what this turnout is going to be for this game going to Nashville. as far as what was previously known as the Southern Heritage Classic. I want to see how this really operates as a home and home. So I'll just leave it right there and leave something out there for these other two gentlemen to talk about.
Good question in terms of the projected attendance for the game. With that being said, I'm going to save you a minute, Charles, if you hold on. Let me go to you, Mike.
So before we get into the schedule, I got to ask, what team are we going to get in FAMU? I do agree. If I rated them out of the 6 teams in the East, and I rated them on a 5-star system based on schedule, who they're facing, road trip, everything. And this is just Mike's. This is not Dr. Cavil. I have Jackson State schedule difficulty as the least, but that does not factor in where they were in 2025. Almost 8, 9 total offense, rushing, passing, where they were. So what team will they get? I think to me that's the X factor. They do have a very I'm sorry, I was thinking about FAM. Sorry. I was talking about FAM, but Jackson State to me has the very most favorable, except that Grambling State. I don't know what's going to happen with Grambling State. That's the
you never
X
know
factor.
what's going to happen in that game.
To me, that's the X factor. And what do you say about that? If I looked back 4 or 5 years and we said, "Oh, this is going to be a Jackson State game," where were we at the end of that conversation? So Jackson State has led offense, almost defense between Alabama State for the last 3 or 4 years, and no matter how they're ranked, they come into that game, and there's a 50% chance that it could be a loss, upset for whatever reason. For whatever reason, the odds may fall against them. Vegas has them at a 55% chance of winning the SWAC East. I don't know what you know about Vegas, but Vegas has them at 55% odds at winning the East. That's saying something. The only other thing I will say, the biggest, they do have FAMU, and that's what I was talking about at home. That depends on what FAMU team you're going to get. But they finish with at Alabama State and at Alcorn State. At Alabama State and at Alcorn State, and that's at the end of the season when players get tired or whatever. So to me, that's the most significant challenge as well. Can they take that top offense, that top running game, that defense, and at the end of the game 10, game 11, and go on the road? I don't know what you'll get with Alcorn, but you know what you're going to get, hopefully get out of Alabama State. Can they take that at the road? What will that look like at the end? So in summary, Grambling on the road, Alabama State on the road. To me, those are the 2 X factors that you don't know and could be a thorn in their side when it comes time to decide who's going to represent the East in the SWAC championship.
Charles, we saved the best for last. Your thoughts on Jackson State?
No doubt, and I think Edwin said it in the chat. TC is Mr. Consistency, but I will tell you a story. I think this kind of defines what Jackson State is, and Coach Big Daddy Carson, he put his arm around me once upon a time, and he told me, the DNA of Jackson State football is some monsters up front, offensive line, and some guys that can tote the ball behind. And those are 2 of the biggest question marks for Jackson State going into this upcoming season. They only returned 1 starter along the offensive line, Quay Davis. He's an all-SWAC performer. But you had running back by committee last year that's gone. So we'll have to see what Jackson State looks like as far as running backs this upcoming season. Nate Blunt is the one that everybody is really excited, former 3-star running back from Brandon, great power program there in the Jackson area. But when you kind of take a look at it, when you lose Ahmad Miller, you lose Travis Terrell, 2 players that are on FBS teams now, that's a talent drop. So you have to kind of keep those things in mind. But you look at the front part of the schedule, it really works well to Jackson State's advantage to sort of ease into the schedule. Tennessee State is going to be a dogfight. Obviously, the next 2 games, 2 of the top teams in the SIAC, but you'll be favored. before you get to the Southern game. Southern comes to Jackson. Jackson has a nice winning streak against Southern. Alabama A&M down there in Mobile. I think Jackson State will be favored again. I think to Mike's point, to AD, Jackson State on the road at Grambling. What's going to happen this year? Grambling has been a continuous thorn in Jackson State's side, even during the TC era. So you kind of take a look at that. What's that going to mean going down to a house of horrors for Jackson State? And then you get FAMU coming into Jackson. So I think Jackson State will around that time of the season, October 17th. And then going on the road with Bethune-Cookman is never easy. So I think that's going to be interesting. But, as mentioned, with Alabama State, everything does come down to November 14th, the trip to Montgomery. So that's, I think one of the things you're just going to have to be taking a look at with Jackson State this upcoming season. Do they get back to their physicality of 2024? I think toward the end of last year, a couple things that I really saw was teams really matched their physicality when you start talking about Alcorn in that game, when you start talking about Prairie View in that game. And that was something that we had not seen over the past couple of seasons with regards to Jackson State. So from a talent standpoint, have they brought in enough people to bring back the level of physicality that we've been used to seeing in Jackson State over the past few years?
Great points in terms of the breakdown by all of you, but specifically Charles. Yeah, as you said, that physicality is something that you need to keep your eyes throughout the SWAC. We were talking about that for a while in terms of MEAC SWAC matchups, whether it's MEAC SWAC Challenge, and that's obviously the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge presented by Toyota, particularly when we got into the Cricket Celebration Bowl presented by Toyota. So now you see that even emphasis within conference. So fascinating point. In fact, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we see Bethune-Cookman. As they have risen in terms of the predicted order of finish, we'll get a chance to go over their schedule after this break. But fascinating to see, can they do the physicality? And the question I'm supposing for a lot of folks, particularly the physicality on the defensive side of the ball. We'll be right back after this break and see again what these three gentlemen have in terms of the Bethune-Cookman football schedule as we evaluate the top three teams in the Eastern Division. We'll be right back after this last break.
Football fans, HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Introducing the HBCU Trivia Game. It's more than a board game. It's a journey to the legacy of historically black colleges and universities. Here's how it works. 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, start as freshmen and roll the dice to advance. But here's the twist. You can only move forward by answering trivia questions about HBCU. Test your knowledge of notable alumni, key historical events, sports milestones, and fun HBCU facts. Watch out for spaces that can propel you ahead or set you back. And if you get a question wrong, you stay put until your next turn. The first to reach graduation wins! The HBCU Trivia Game. Support, educate, entertain! Available now. Let the journey begin.
Do you own a business, have a service or product, apparel, entertainment, or food? Would you like to reach an educated client base that are loyal? Then the Urban Passport Business Directory is for you. The Urban Passport is your premier digital discount and media portal with the Urban Digital Television Networks and V108.5 radio properties embedded. Stay connected with the community with the latest news, entertainment, and HBCU sports and culture with the Black College Sports Network. Visit myjbn.com/passport to register your business and sign up for your free app before the August 24th release date. We are the premier digital national urban business directory, always free to the consumer. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book, and your digital passport to a world of savings.
This is your invitation to the moment. The Divine Nine, the bands, the parties, the performances, creating memories with your people. So pull up to the 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. It just hits different. Labor Day weekend, Miami Gardens, Florida. It's the culture, the connection, the pride. One weekend, one experience, one big community. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com.
Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want a law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
The grind of Fall Camp 2026 continues for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Day 4 brought another round of hard hits, intense drills, and the demanding leadership of head coach Raymond Woody.
Everybody stand. Yes, sir. Get your in gear. I rake it out. What you think gonna happen? You gonna recover. Good. Good job. Play with bent knees, flat back, eyes.
Last year's Florida Classic victory is in the rear-view mirror. Coach Woody knows this is a new season with higher expectation, fresh faces, and returning veterans, all battling to earn a spot in the Wildcats roster.
You feel as if everybody has to start from the bottom to be able to level up to where you want them to be able to play, because you see the potential in them.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's up to us. Coaches coach, players play. When we recruit these guys, we recruit them to come in and be winners, and we recruit them to come in and be better than they was when they entered, and when they depart, they're gonna be winners.
Leadership also comes from experienced players like four-year Wildcat Steven Sparrow, who understand what it takes to compete at this level and is helping set the standard for younger athletes.
What's one thing that you've learned about yourself this camp?
I mean, this camp, I really just learned that if I'm going to be a leader, I got to lead all the time. It's a lot of times, and I'm really thankful for my guys. I'm thankful that they always push me when I'm tired, push me when I'm not at my best, and they there to pick up anything that anything I'm lacking.
Let nobody tell you and dictate the way your career gonna go.
A long, demanding season lies ahead, and these Wildcats are determined to be ready for every challenge that comes their way. Reporting for the Wildcat Report, I'm Sabrina Petit-Holmes.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We're back with the professor for the last segment, Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. It's something about Bethune-Cookman when they have a little bit of confidence. A lot of things have not.
I like to give kudos to the young lady on that report as well.
Oh, I appreciate you. I get a
reporting.
chance to watch her with some of the basketball. She does a really good job.
She does a phenomenal job. I've seen her in a couple of other. I didn't mean to sidebar there, but I've seen her in a couple of others. She does a terrific job.
Certainly, the Cat-Eye Network continues to be one of the best in the business, particularly for what it has done for a long-standing period of time. As I was alluding to there, a lot of SWAC folks obviously so centered on the SWAC. They may not have recognized what Bethune-Cookman was at one time in the MEAC. Obviously, people have followed what they have done for FAMU until FAMU flipped the script again and gotten on top. But Charles, something about Bethune-Cookman when they feel a little Wildcat, as they like to say down there. Let's go, Wildcats. But when they get playing and they rolling,
they get crunk. Yeah.
Let's get up the schedule and get into it so we can talk about it and really get your thoughts on this Bethune-Cookman 2026 season. Can they live up to the hype, I guess, is the question we'll ask. Starting off, they got a tough one. They go to Power 4 Conference, Big 12, University of Bethune-Cookman at UCF in state 4. They stay in state and they have Stetson coming to Bethune-Cookman. Then they go off the framework a little bit with Virginia Lynchburg coming to Bethune-Cookman. That should be one that really gets the confidence going. And then they got a nice former MEAC matchup. This one is now SWAC MEAC with South Carolina State coming to Bethune-Cookman. I believe this is an early test. basketball thoughts on that. October 13th is the big one, though. So if they do something to South Carolina State, folks rightfully would be really excited with Alabama State coming to Bethune-Cookman. And then you have the Alabama other side of the coin, if you would, and that is Alabama A&M hosting the Wildcats. Second half of the season getting in October, when things get going. Mississippi Valley on the road. Fascinating there. And then another good early test, mid-season test, I guess I'd say early conference, if you would, getting into your fourth context halfway through it. Jackson State goes to Daytona. Always fascinating when you think about that. Then you have that trip to Pine Bluff. Pine Bluff has some good home games. Bethune-Cookman, if you would, travels to face off with the Golden Lions. Then you have Bethune-Cookman at Southern. That was an exciting matchup this year. Can Southern turn the table? And you have Grambling talking about the Louisiana schools. Grambling travels to Bethune-Cookman, and then you end with the rival matchup, FAMU, Bethune-Cookman to Florida Blue, Florida classic matchup there. I'm gonna start with you, Mike. Your thoughts on Bethune-Cookman? Are you ready to believe in the hype?
No.
I'm sorry, Mike. I ain't mean to step on your toes on that one.
No. They finished 6-6 overall. Covered a few things. I don't want to step on anybody, and I'll try to leave some meat on the bone because I know these guys have been digging into it hard. 5-3 overall in the SWAC in 2025. The good thing is they averaged 29.7 points a game. They produce 400 yards a game, 410 yards a game, and average 240 passing yards per game in any season. That'd be great. The problem is they allowed 32.7 points a game. They allowed 437 yards per game, almost double what they were producing. What does that mean? So this suggests a team with enough offense to compete for a division title, but a defense that must improve significantly to win the East. That's my point. I don't know what they have on the defensive side. So on the non-conference, we've covered the schedule. To me, their biggest challenge, they got Jackson State at home. They got Alabama State early in conference play. Alabama State 10-2. We know what Jackson State can do, but then they have 4 road conference games in Alabama. The challenge to me is not the games themselves, or not just the games, but you got Alabama A&M, Mississippi Valley, Pine Bluff, and Southern. We've all said that too, ad nauseum. But traveling across the SWAC is not easy. That's Alabama, Mississippi, Little Rock, Arkansas, and then Louisiana. Especially for a Florida-based scheme, long road trips historically can create challenges. I don't know what the statistics are, but historically, when you got to travel that far across the SWAC, that can take a toll on your football team historically. The defensive improvement, the schedule itself is manageable. But the Wildcats, again, allowed 32 points per game, 430 yards per game. So against folks like Jackson State, Florida A&M, Alabama State, and Southern, that defensive profile is unlikely to be good enough to win that division unless they make a dramatic mathematical step change of 10x AD, mathematical step change of 10x to really meet that. So they have no FBS gauntlet. That is good for them. Their key opponents are at home. That's good. But I go back to what they did last year and the step change that's needed to play even the best opponents that they have at home. So no, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. Sorry.
I understand. That's why we asked the question. Charles, you with Mike, are you going to go in a little more favorable position? What are your thoughts?
Charles, I'll still love you if you say Mike is off his rocker. I'll still love you, bro.
I'm with Mike. It's a little tough to drink a Kool-Aid, and for these reasons right here. They lost both quarterbacks that they had last year, Tim McClain and Camp Ransom. I think that's huge. So finding a quarterback, that's number one. The second biggest thing, they lost their top 3 receivers. So they all transferred out. So you're those 2 position groups right there, you're starting over from scratch on that. And then Mike touched on it defensively. You know, they were stopping the ball was tough for them last year. Dead last in the SWAC in terms of stopping the pass. So I think those things kind of factor in to me with regards to looking at how tough it could be this upcoming season for Bethune-Cookman. But what does bode in their favor? 6 home games. But am I missing something? Do they have a bye week? When I looked through, I was trying to see where a bye week was, but there's got to be a bye week in there somewhere. I just don't see it.
I didn't see it, to be honest.
So that was something that kind of caught my eye. But
no, they're not playing week 0.
Okay, they're not playing week, so they're going.
And they open it up with a Thursday, 12 weeks straight, and they open it up with a Thursday night game at UCF.
Okay. That's a tough schedule. That's a tough schedule.
That's tough schedule.
6 home games, though.
Pitching had no breaks in there, so they got to get
7, Charles. 7 on the home side.
Well,
6 plus the classic.
Let me go to AD for you in regards to your thoughts on this. I was going to say, do you fall in line with Mike and Charles? I'm not sure that's fair to ask you. But anyway, what are your thoughts in terms of Bethune-Cookman?
How many remember an artist named Rockwell from back in the early 80s?
Somebody's watching me?
Yeah.
Somebody's watching me.
And what was he? Anybody? How would you classify him as an artist?
One hit wonder.
There you go.
Wait, exactly.
There you go. That's Bethune-Cookman. I'm glad somebody was playing the game with me. That's what I think Bethune-Cookman is. I always
feel like somebody's watching me.
Yeah, with Michael Jackson all in the background and everything, singing and everything. That Michael Jackson in the background making them sound good. That's those last couple of victories that they had over Florida A&M in the Florida Classic. You know, they look good. But the one hit wonders and everything. What other song do you have on in your catalog? That's what I want to know, Bethune-Cookman. What else do you have in your catalog? What I do like, 8-12 or in the state of Florida. But damn, you got VUL on your schedule. Come on now, Bethune. Well, we don't have to worry about talking about that anymore because they have been banished from the SWAC after this year. So that is one positive. You know, Stetson, you know, you're gonna start the season off with the bumps and bruises at UCF. So I'm interested though of all the games on their schedule. I am really interested in the South Carolina State Bethune-Cookman game in Daytona in September.
Why?
Really?
I'll bite. Why?
Yeah.
The heat and the humidity off of the ocean in September. I don't care what time of day it is, and don't get a mid-afternoon Florida rain shower right before the game. That's just one of those interesting facts. You know, you already know the month of September. The first half flows fine. The second half takes 3 hours because you got everybody cramping every 2-3 plays and everything in September and everything. So that's why I'm interested in that game, how South Carolina State performs in that particular game. You know, Bethune, 3 home games in a row, 4 games in the state of Florida. By the time they play South Carolina State, they will be well conditioned to their heat. South Carolina is hot, but it's a different type of heat when you get right there on that Atlantic coast. Dude, I'm just telling you from experience.
I'm telling you, okay. We can debate and cuss and discuss. That South Carolina team is used to that same type of humidity. Trust me. Because if you've been in that environment, that's near the low country, so they get dang near the same type of humidity. So I think they'll be okay. I understand your point.
I think that game is going to be closer than a lot of people are going to expect. I do expect South Carolina State to win it, but I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive than a lot of people are going to expect that game. Is where I'm going with that.
I got you. Okay.
I will say this. It's obvious in terms of Bulls up, Bears down. Where y'all going with Bethune-Cookman? So I won't even waste my time. So we'll go back to Jackson State and Alabama State. Which of those two do you see differential in terms of where they will fall as predicted order of finish versus maybe not? Starting with you, Charles.
If it comes down to November 14th, the last two times Jackson State has been in Montgomery, they've come away with W. So Alabama State has approved it.
So you have Alabama State maybe not living up to expectations. Mike, great point.
I gotta go a different way. I go Alabama State, given body can be healthy, and I think they last two times. Now it's time for Alabama. The odds say, okay, it's time for Alabama State to pull it out in the end. So that's why I go with Alabama State in the end. Barely, but yeah, I go with Alabama State at the end.
So they finally get over to her. Bears up, Bulls down. AD.
Yep.
Jackson State, Alabama State. Which one you going?
This is one of them. Do you take the team or do you take the field? I mean, by a process of elimination, you have to take the field because Alabama State cannot go up. So you have to take Jackson State because they at least can move one spot. But we keep talking about Andrew Body. Andrew Body's a great player. We'll never take anything away from him. But do we forget that Alabama State probably has the best backup quarterback in the SWAC?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he just came in and they really did that. He was not the reason why Alabama State did not win the SWAC East last year. He really picked up the pieces when Andrew Body got hurt. So that is not my concern with the Andrew Body. But if we're talking 100% just schedule as our metric right here, Dr. Cavil, I have to like the makeup of the Jackson State schedule over these other two teams that we have discussed today, just purely based on home matchups, road matchups and everything. Jackson State will go 6-0 at home. I'll go ahead and put that out there. Jackson State's going to go 6-0 at home. Yes, I said it, orange and green. Jackson State will go 6-0 at home.
Wait a minute, don't they play FAMU? I'm sorry.
Once again, Jackson State will go 6-0 at home.
I just wanted to hear you say it again.
I am not Brian. I do not believe orange and green.
Because Brian would him and haw. He would go alligator.
Brian would never.
He would never say that. Brian would never say that.
My rattler card is like my credit. It is gone.
I just wanted to hear you say it.
Good stuff. Great comments on Thursday. We'll get to close it out with the 4, 5, and 6 in terms of the Eastern Division. And then next week we'll get on to the MEAC. Tuesday we'll do the top 3. And then on Thursday we'll do 4, 5, and 6 out of the MEAC.
One day,
again,
you're going to owe me a favor. And your godfather's going to come to you. Your godfather's going to come to you.
The quote there, but I'll read it for everybody. For those that can't necessarily see it, because it is hilarious in some ways. The quote below the Godfather says, "I'm going to make them an offer he can't,
but they can't refuse." And one day they're going to come to your Godfather.
For those that talked about the dean of the SWAC and all the movement. But as I said, I do not know. I do not tell. I'll put it that way. Can you say it one more time, AD? Say it. Brian. It's cold. That is cold. With that being said, we enjoyed it today. Hope you all enjoyed us. Thank you for listening to Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share.
What's that rap? Is that your version of rat poison?
Yeah, that is the rat poison. Shout out to Body checking out the show. You know he calls it. We made that famous, obviously, a couple of years ago with the head coach, if you would, Clark Atlanta University, doing his stuff, sending him some love. Check out his show. He's getting it done in a lot of ways in terms of what that looks like. So fascinating when you think about that as well. just going about it. As we get back into it, I am Dr. Kenyatta Cavil. Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I am Dr. J. Kenyatta Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop, as well as A.D. Drew. The professors are in the building again. We want to thank you for listening, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop every Tuesday and Thursday. We will be back on Thursday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. We look forward to Thursday as we discuss the latest news in the lab. We might have a special guest on the first segment, so don't join us late. Join us early. Follow me on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram at DrKenyattaCavil. Again, that's DrKenyattaCavil. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Facebook, Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big. Continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles?
Of course.
Mike?
Favor. I'm sorry, lecture.
I'm not going to bring you any of my tequila.
He showed up once every 3 months, and he just mess up everything, y'all. Just miss. Hit the red button, Raymond.
Come on, Raymond.
Check out the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with the professors, Mike Washington and Charles Bishop, every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Unless, of course, Mike is on assignment.
Oh, I don't like